inspires, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
It's Dr. Romani. Now, during a recent meeting I had with my team, they told me about something that really concerned me. They were telling me that there's something out there that's called a karmic relationship. Now, I had no idea what they were talking about. I thought it was maybe they were talking about some sort of dreamy, predestined love story, which also concerned me enough. But when I was like, karmic relationships, I was like, what is this? And when I then did a deeper dive and really read about it, I was like, oh no. Because it felt like one more way for people to potentially get stuck in narcissistic relationships. Well, I know until recently I had never heard of this. Please drop a comment if you have heard of this type of relationship and already have a sense, especially when it comes to the world of narcissistic relationships, how problematic this is. Now, most of the blogosphere and internet space that writes about this whole karmic relationship thing, it's all very listicle. They list all of the characteristics of karmic relationships, and I scoured more than a few of these to find out what the characteristics of a karmic relationship are. There was a lot of overlap, but I made note of all of them. Now hold on to your hats, folks, because you are going to love this list of what makes a karmic relationship. Ready? Instant connection, volatile, lots of red flags early on, frustrating, unpleasant, the relationship feels obsessive and time-consuming, lots of highs and lows, repetitive fights and playing out the same cycles repeatedly, they play upon your insecurities and fears. They bring out the least desirable aspects of yourself. They are exhausting. They require a lot of justification to keep them going. Just sit with that for a minute, okay? Now, all of you, and all this YouTube world could talk to me right now and say it out loud, and I could hear it. I know what you'd be saying. You'd say, damn, That sounds like trauma bonding. That's just a narcissistic relationship, right? Right. So trying to package this and spin this and call it a karmic relationship, it's this idea that this kind of a relationship is meant to be a place given to you to work through traumas and issues from your past life, and that it's a place to learn that lasts as long as you need to get the lessons, I suppose. To which I say, oh, hell no. Because after you have been through the messy nightmare of any narcissistic relationship, sure, you went through it. I didn't want that for you. But I guess any of us can try and see what was learned. But to frame one of these relationships as karmic, like by design, because it was going to teach you something, no, 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 no. Nobody should stay in a relationship that is harming them because they think it is some sort of karmic workshop on trauma healing. When I read these various blogs and articles about karmic relationships, I got to tell you, my heart sank. Because my biggest concern is that people will read this stuff who are stuck in narcissistic relationships and may remain in these toxic relationships even longer because it's already hard enough to leave. And now they believe they're working through some karmic lessons. And you know, on this channel, I never...
Oh, yeah, we about to get busy yet again. I am called to clean up a mess yet again. Do you see how the clinical, right, brings clarity to the spiritual? Do you see how the spiritual brings expansion of thought to the clinical? This is why I say you need both, okay? From the clinical lens, Dr. Ramani sees narcissistic tendencies, right? From the spiritual lens, karmic deals with the Sanskrit term karma, action. Deals with what the great Krishnamurti spoke of when he says relationship functions as a mirror. And as I stated yesterday, psychology is going to catch up to spirituality at some point. They've been trying to do it for many years, especially in physics, right? There is a book, it's now 35 years old, came out 35 years ago, called The Tao of Physics. And what was interesting was, in the book, they matched all of the, what they considered esoteric, philosophical, religious beliefs to emerging, right, cutting-edge scientific principles. Go back and check this book out. Freejoff. That is the author. Freejoff, I believe, is the last name. I'll look it up for you and give you the exact details. The Tao of Physics. And I think there's going to be a Tao of psychology at some point, because the spirit side needs the clinical, rigid, logical framework of the clinical side. It needs it because many of the spiritual explanations are in fact quite nebulous. And that leads us to our topic tonight, right? Which is based on this karma idea. You know, black folk, we spiritual to begin with. Sorry. Whether you want to accept it or not, everybody else in the world, black folk are spiritual to begin with. So we have spiritual concepts around our relating. Tonight's topic, eye for an eye versus karma. Until you do right by me, uncovering the desire to be paid back. Now, what's interesting about this, I believe personally, right? If you try to pay somebody back, you're really taking on what the universe is going to give them anyway, right? For every action, there's an opposite yet equal, an equal yet opposite reaction. So I believe when you try to do something, no matter how subtle, right? No matter how slick, because you got a lot of people that think they're not doing anything when in fact they are, right? We gave the example yesterday, like you can have the proper tone and delivery and deliver something, some really nasty words or really nasty sentiment, right? You can really tear somebody down with the calmest demeanor, but you can say something that is really heartbreaking and painful. So what I'm finding is, right, we live in a recompense kind of society. People want to show that they're doing better than they were when they were with you. And I'm saying, listen, none of that has anything to do with the purpose of relating. To me, the purpose of relating is rooted in self-discovery, right? Oh, I discovered I respond to situations like this in this manner. Oh, I discovered that I tend to shut down when I get anxious. Oh, I discovered my communication style. Oh, I discovered my attachment style. Oh, I discovered some repressed emotions and feelings. This is the purpose of relationship. Relationship is not designed for you to show off how good you're doing after you've left someone else, right? Relationship is not designed for that. Now, sometimes we get caught up in it, and for me, this is an example of unhealed people. See, listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. And I've said it on numerous shows. Sometimes God gives you exactly what you want so you can learn to want better for yourself. See, we will take the easiest road, right? When it comes to these relationships, we'll take the easiest road because we want what we want. We want to be happy. We want to be safe. We want to be nurtured. We want to be cared for. We want what we want. But sometimes getting what you want is an impediment towards getting what you need, right? Sometimes you got to learn how to be dissatisfied with what you want. What does that mean, Zoe? Sometimes you got to get it so you can recognize that it's not truly fulfilling. I know it's tough. So when we get into relationships, and this is the part that the Western lens doesn't understand. When we get into relationships, relationships are designed to reveal ourselves, right? We talked about Carl Jung. We talked about Dr. David R. Hawkins. We talked about Krishnamurti. We talked about Pema Chandran. We talked about all these spiritual philosophers who talk about it. Eckhart Tolle, right? Iyanla Vanzant. We go to all of these different sources to give you an example of how you see yourself in the reflection of others. And you say, well, what is the purpose of seeing myself in the reflection of others? Well, you're going to see some things about yourself that you don't like. You're going to see some things about yourself that you have repressed, that you have pushed to the side. Well, why do I need to see that? Because it needs to be reconciled, right? If happiness is an inside job, so is self-worth, self-approval, self-acknowledgement, right? All of these things are inside jobs, right? So if you're going to attract the person of a lifetime, if you're going to attract the person that you feel represents your highest good, you have to become your highest good. You cannot avoid self-work. So what happens is we buy into the image of a person. We buy into their words. We buy into their behaviors and their performance. And in doing so, this image is, whether you want to accept it or not, this image is concretized. It's an inflexible image, and it's unspoken. We don't say don't ever change, right? Don't ever change. Well, people are going to change, and people are flawed, and people are triggered by their loved ones, by their family, by their co-workers. Life has a way of challenging you. And when you crack the image, that's when people feel as if you lied or you let them down. Or do you understand what I'm saying? And now they have reason to say, oh, this isn't going to work, right? But wait a minute. What if you come into the situation with unhealed wounds? And that manifests itself as negative behaviors, negative words, because that's what you modeled, right? Oh, Lord, eye for an eye. I got to get out of this relationship. And oftentimes we spend a lot of time trying to prove to this person I'm worthy, right? Listen, there is no eye for an eye. You learn from that situation and then you matriculate. There is no get back. We got to get away from getting back. Listen, that person you left is on their own mission. Has nothing to do with you. You don't have to prove anything to them. You don't have to show them anything. But oftentimes we get caught up in it. When I come forward, I'm going to rattle off these questions and break this down even further. You already know you're invited to the conversation. All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union Symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one.
Let's bring them back.
Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I believe up there. Hey!
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood.
We believe in raising our
Voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
On this. Little Caesar.
Queen Bee. That's me.
Check it. Yo, I be buying B's, so all my girls be eyeing C's. Coming backstage, dying to get pleased. You got me, I rock the Versace and linen. While you spotting, grinning with a bunch of foxy women. While you speedball with cars, that's the valley. I get clothes custom made from a stylist. Cruise in my Lexus land with no malice. While you walk the street until your feet get callous. Take you on the natural high like a pallet. It be all good, toss your clothes like a salad. When it's all over, put your vote in my ballot. This my diner, I'm Mel and you're Alice. Spend the night in Little C's Palace. It be all good as long as you don't act childish. While you standing there with the crisp in your cup. And worst come to worst, keep this on the hush.
I know you see me on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you.
Hey yo, shorty, won't you go get a bag of the lethal? I'll be undressed in the bra, all see-through. While you count your jewels, thinking I'ma cheat you. The only one thing I wanna do is freak you. Keep your stone sets, I got my own baguettes. And I'll be doing things that you won't regret. Little Kim the Queen Bee, so you best take heed. Shall I proceed?
Karmics. You know how they say people come in your life always for a reason, but only for a season. Karmics often represent those people either in our soul pod or near our soul pod who has been with us through many lifetimes. Since we are so much like our twin flame, this twin flame, we're so much alike, we can't always learn from each other because we're too much alike. So the soul has to split itself, that seed, which is a soul, has to split itself and have these experiences with other people that are not our twin flame. So karmics can be people that we marry, spouses, child's father, child's mother, exes, etc. So this soul needs to fully experience its incarnation and has to split up. Like when you have two best friends in a class together and they're taking that class and the teacher's like, no, y'all need to split up and go to the other group because you're not going to learn because all y'all going to do is just play. And y'all didn't come down here to just play. So you need these other people to help you evolve. And so you meet a karmic who you've known many lifetimes. So anyway, you get with this karmic, right? And y'all get married, you have children, you love them. You may not be 1,000% in love with them like you are your twin flame, but you get them on a soul level. Even if you don't like them, but you're still...
Now, the clinician The psychiatrist, the Western thinking, would say, that's a bunch of malarkey. Spirits, and you chose this lesson, and this person is designed to reveal something to you. This is why I say there has to be a synthesis, right, of the spirit and the clinical. I think they're both valuable, right? So when we're looking at, and this is what I'm saying, like, you won't find in psychological reading, right? Nowhere, anywhere. You won't find it anywhere where it says, you know, a karmic is going to teach you a particular lesson about you. You're not going to find that in psychological reading, in any of the literature. But on the spirit side, on the philosophical side, you will. So where's the middle ground? In what ways do worthiness wounds dictate devaluation from others, thereby prompting discard? Furthermore, how does the feeling and or experience of being discarded lead to get back entitlement? That question by itself, right? I have a worthiness wound, or I should say an unworthiness wound, right? How does me having this sense of feeling unworthy, right, dictate devaluation from others? Don't we hear it all the time? The way you treat yourself is an invitation for other people to treat you the same way. Listen, we're going to dissect this even further after we come forward. If you want to join the conversation, the number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. I'm ready to talk to you. Are you ready to talk to me?
You all shook up, but don't blush. Just keep this on the hush.
I know you see me on the video.
True.
I know you heard me on the radio.
True.
But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Officials are looking into how Race's art project featuring images of LeBron James and monkeys was displayed at a school art exhibition. The project is fictional serial advertisement called Monkey Premium, featuring a photo of James and the tagline, "Eat like monkeys, jump like monkeys." An Air Force airman who was shot and killed in his apartment in Florida on Friday was killed by a deputy entering the wrong home. Attorney Ben Crump, who's black, revealed Wednesday that a woman said she was on FaceTime with Roger Fortston when he was killed, and that there wasn't a disturbance, which police said was the reason for the call. Georgia Appeals Court will consider former President Trump's appeal of a decision to not remove the district attorney from his election interference case in the state. In March, a judge ruled Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis could remain on the case if Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade was removed from the case. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
California just launched the Certified Wellness Coach profession to help your workforce meet the increased demands for youth mental health services. Learn more at cawellnesscoach.org, supported by the California Department of Health Care Access and Information.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV. City of Los Angeles tenants and landlords participating in the Emergency Renters Assistance Program, beware of scammers. Notifications about your application will only come from the City of LA in emails ending in lacity.org. Protect yourself. Contact the LA Housing Department by email at lahd.erap@lacity.org or call 866-557-7368 to check communications you receive about the program. You can also verify your application status at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org. Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Whoa, 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 yeah. Hey, yo, Tim, man, it's the jump off right here, man. Whoa, whoa, it's the jump off. I've been gone for a minute, now I'm back with the jump off. Goons in the club, case something jump off. Get back up for the high, let the pump off. In the graveyard is where you get dumped off. All we wanna do is party and buy everybody at the bar Bacardi. Black Barbie dressed in Bulgari. I'm tryna leave in somebody's Ferrari. Spread love, that's what a real mob do. Keep it gangster, look out for the people. I'm the wicked bitch of these. You better keep the peace. Or out comes the beast. We the best, still is room for improvement. Our presence is felt like a black panther movement. 7 quarter to 8, back to back with them sitting on chrome 7 times.
So that's on my beats. With the Bentleys, the Hummers, the Benz. Escalade 23 trims. Jumping out the Jaguar with the Timbs. Keep your bread up and live good. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide. All my players in the hood stay fly. And if you ballin', let me hear you say ride.
It's Little Kim and Timberland. This shit yours. Special delivery to you and yours.
Karmic relationships and twin flame connection are both incredibly intense. Much like twin flames, karmic partners can sweep into our lives and cause us to feel intense levels of attraction to them that can even cause us to wonder from time to time, is this person some kind of soul connection, potentially a soulmate, or even my twin flame? It's ironic that twin flame connection and karmic relationships are some of the most commonly confused forms of soul love connection, because actually, at the root, these relationships are very different, and one way of thinking of it is they are nearly entirely opposite, where karmic relationship is about feeling attraction to another person based on unhealed wounds or patterns that are drawing us into this connection in order to clear out, to break free of these karmic cycles or patterns. Twin flame connection is almost the opposite of this. Twin flames are most drawn together, most attracted magnetically to one another when they are completely whole and healed within themselves, living and radiating their true, authentic self on their soul mission. So what is the number one way to distinguish a karmic relationship from other forms of soul or love connection, such as a twin flame relationship? I'm going to be sharing this with you in just a moment, but first, let me introduce myself to those of you who may be new here to the channel. If you are new, then welcome. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Infinity.
I gotta ask, do we draw our problems to us to be reconciled? Now, in one breath, you get Dr. Ramani basically saying this is just, a fancy, flowery, poetic way of hiding a potential narcissist. Because when we look at the descriptions of a karmic relationship, it might look like someone who is narcissistic, right? On the spirit side, everything that's said is, it can't be falsifiable. We can't prove it. So if we can't prove it from a scientific lens, it's not true. But if it's not true, how does Patrick Carnes get to trauma bonding? How do the clinicians get to the point where we understand, the central nervous system is also relating? How do we get to that point? Right? Oftentimes, science will repress or suppress spiritual jargon until they can get it to a point where they can make it falsifiable, which means if an idea or a theory can be falsified, it is closer to being the truth than not being the truth, right? So I guess science has to, once again, catch up with spirituality. The great Krishnamurti said many, 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 many decades ago when he was alive, he simply said, relationship functions as a mirror. And what did that mean? You do know there was a book put together by Krishnamurti, maybe his foundation put it together, but it was centered on the talks that he had with Einstein's successor, Dr. David Bohm. The name of the book was called The End of Time, or The Ending of Time. Very powerful discussion between a philosopher and a theoretical physicist. it was Dr. David Bohm who started this holographic movement when he wrote a book called Wholeness and the Implicate Order. He said there's an implicate order and an explicate order. The implicate order deals with what's inside. And he said these orders are constantly enfolding and unfolding into one another through what he called the hollow movement. Now, whenever you hear me use the term hologram, holographic, the word itself means whole writing. So I understand science is the way we understand our physical reality, and it might just be good for understanding the physical reality. But when we're talking about spiritual matters, which relationship falls into that category, even think about the term psychology. What does the word psychology mean? Psyche means mind or soul, the study of the soul. But they had to practicalize it. Well, it means the study of the mind and subsequent behaviors. But when we look at the word psychology, where does it come from? Study of the soul. Psychology in and of itself is born out of philosophy. Do you see? So we ask these questions because an eye for an eye versus karma. Should you get your get back? Everything you do, until you do right by me, everything you do, should you seek recompense when someone has hurt you? Should you seek get back? We're trying to uncover the desire to want to be paid back from being hurt. Now, that question we were breaking down. In what ways do worthiness wounds dictate devaluation from others, thereby prompting an eventual discard? Furthermore, how does the feeling and or experience of being discarded lead to get back entitlement? Do you suffer from get back entitlement? If somebody does you wrong, do you have to get them back? Is it imperative that you do so? How can one differentiate between petty get back and valid justice / retribution? Can consistent emotional neglect and worthiness wounds be the driving force behind pettiness and get back? What other factors need to be considered when addressing these issues? Were you raised right if you try to get back? Do you come from a vindictive family? If you cross us, we got to come see you? Are you from the vengeance is mine's family? Y'all talk to me. I want to know, how do you deal with it? Right? If somebody hurt your daughter, and I don't mean physically. I don't like dealing with the physical stuff. If somebody hurt your daughter, broke her heart, are you going to try to have a conversation with that guy? Vice versa? Let's get to it. 1-800-920-1580. We got callers on the line. When I come forward, I'm going directly to you guys. I want to hear your thoughts on tonight's topic.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
call your senior Medicare patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Are you tired of being stuck without internet access? Connect and go with LA County Library. It's simple. Visit your local LA County Library location and borrow a hotspot for free to get Wi-Fi wherever you are.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
As we go a little something like this.
Hey, it is me, D.L. Hugo, and I am thrilled to be heard weekdays in my hometown on KBLA Talk 1580. So check out the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a whole lot to talk about, let me tell you. That's for the real.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The magic stick. I know if I could hit once, I could hit twice. I'll hit the baddest chicks. Sure they don't believe me, then come with me tonight and I'll show you magic. What? Magic. I got the magic stick.
I'm a freak to the core. Get a dose once, you gon' want some more. My tongue touch your girl, your toes bound to curl. This exclusive stick, I don't share with the world. I had you up early in the morning. Crowd for the low, can't stop us. Been a fiend for this since Rakim made hits. Get the position down pat, then it's time to switch. I rock the boat, I work the middle. I speed it up, straight it up. When I ain't in the hood with my out low, I'm in the telly working up a sweat stroke. Tonight's the night, you can fall in love. You can call your mama right now, tell her you met a dog. I pop a lot, cause I can back it up. My left stroke's the death stroke.
I got the magic. I know if I get once, I get twice, I am the baddest chick. Shorty, you don't believe me, then come with me tonight and I'll show you magic. What? Magic.
Hi, I'm Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to address a question that a lot of you have asked me about. I addressed in an earlier video what karmic relationships were and how to tell them because they are so complicated and they're so infuriating and they seem to be endless and what is happening and why can't I get beyond this? But there is a way to bring closure to karmic relationships, and that is what I want to talk about today. How to bring peaceful closure to karmic relationships. Now, first, let me remind you a little bit. Karmic relationships are those relationships in your life that come with tremendous complication. And no matter what you do, it just seems like we can't get along, we can't move forward. It's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what happens, this feels awful. So, They're your teachers. You've come together to bring things, to teach each other, maybe unconditional love, acceptance, to finish unfinished business, to provoke each other into spiritual growth. But at some point in that experience, you will feel, I'm over it. I'm done. You will feel it in your heart and spirit. You will be saturated. You will know that to continue is self-betrayal and futile, and that you are not going to get a better result. So you have to end this relationship. So the first thing to do is to write down, when you have a chance, quietly, all the lessons you've learned. What are the things I've learned in this relationship? Now, we can learn by default, which means this was so painful. I've learned I don't love myself and I have to love myself. I've learned I cannot change another person. I've learned don't overgive. Keep giving to someone that's a black hole in space and they'll keep taking and they're not going to change. I've learned a cheater is a cheater. An alcoholic is an alcoholic. A codependent is really someone who's going to just be doomed in a relationship until they learn to love themselves. Whatever you've learned, you have to acknowledge it. And then ask yourself, did you learn about it? Like this, I know I need to learn this, or did you learn it? In other words, I have integrated this information and I am putting it into practice. Because
this is interesting. It's very interesting to me, because I believe that both the clinical and the spiritual share this stuff. What she's saying, I believe the clinical and the spiritual share it. That's why I say, when we're having this conversation on why people come into your life, right? Why do people come into your life? Right? I don't think it's just for superficial means. I do believe that people irritate certain aspects of your spirit, and depending on how you deal with it, your conflict management skills, or how they deal with it, that determines. Rebecca says, I'm listening. Yes, that determines whether you're going to blame shift, whether you're going to claim what is yours to deal with internally. Like so many people, if the relationship doesn't work, it's always somebody else's fault. Victimhood, self-victimization. These are all lessons to be learned. And I am just flummoxed to see that we're at this nexus and we still don't understand, like the nexus of spirituality, which is saying, karmic relationships come in and teach us things, whereas someone like Dr. Ramani is saying, no, that's just a shill to hide behind narcissistic tendencies. Let's get to it. We got callers on the line. I want to talk to everybody. Sean, Oakland, California. Get in here.
Hey, brother. Wow. This is powerful, right? So my thing is broken glass everywhere. A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. And the reason why I say that is because it is, when you talk about wounds and you talk about how we are living in this world, right? There's one thing that cannot be denied, is that when you bring another human being into this world, you need to be present. You need to be available, okay? Because wounds happen when someone isn't present, isn't available, and they're always going to have what we all have to deal with, life, bad things happen, right? You need to have people around you that help you deal with that. You need to have people that are available and present. And that's what I meant. Because when a kid comes into this world, they're innocent. They're completely innocent. And you need to make sure if you're going to do this, you're going to bring a kid in this world, that you're going to be present and you're going to do the best you can, because there's no perfect, there's no, perfect guideline, there's no book you can read, there's no anything someone's going to say to do it, but you need to be there to guide them towards success. And what I mean by success is that you're always going to be an eager learner.
I love it. I love it. Sean, you started rapping in the beginning. I didn't know where we were going, but we landed the plane, brother. You brought Oakland in the building. We appreciate the call. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct you, and you will call it fate. That is Carl Jung, right? Many clinicians, you don't become a psychologist, right? A therapist, without studying Carl Jung. That isn't to say all of his ideas from the past are still standing and unchallenged and questioned or not in need of revision. But that is a spiritual statement. That is not a psychological statement. Until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct you and you will call it fate. What's the difference between what Carl Jung said and Krishnamurti? Right? Relationship is a mirror. Right? What's the difference between Patrick Carnes when he says trauma bonding? To me, that's relationship as a mirror. Now, I've been saying relationship as a mirror for the last 20 years when black people wasn't saying it. Now everybody's saying it. I'm not taking credit. I'm just saying everybody's saying it, and I don't think they understand what they're saying. When we come forward, I ain't even going to say who I saw because I know them. But they was like, yeah, relationship is a mirror. It's like, what does it mean? Right? The karma we're talking about here. Right? It's not, oh, this person did something to me. No, this person reflected something to you that you have been doing to yourself. Uh-oh. When we come forward, we're going to get even deeper. This first hour just flew, but we got more, I promise.
Got the magic stick. I know if I can hit once, I can hit twice.
I am the baddest chick. Shorty, you don't believe me, then come with me tonight, and I'll show you magic. What?
Magic.
I got the magic. I put your face in it. I know you sprung off in your tongue. I know you tasted it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wayne. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Officials are looking into how racist art project featuring images of LeBron James and